Hello, everybody, and welcome to OpenExO Live. It's really great to be with you. It's evening here for me, but it may be the afternoon, maybe the morning, or maybe super late. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This week, we have Marianne Wyne with us, who is in Canada. And you can see from the screen that there are some amazing folks coming up in the next 7 weeks. And before we get Marianne on the screen, we're going to just get a few messages from some folks in the community. And so the first one comes from Forrest, and he just says, taking on an audacious goal such as we have is not for the faint of heart. Marianne is grounded and has a balanced perspective that has allowed us to make substantial progress since she has been here. It is an honor and a pleasure working with Marianne as a colleague here in Planetary Care. It seems like I am having some connectivity issues. Sorry, everybody. It seemed like I had some connectivity issues with the program that we're using. Next comes from Tobias, and he just said, working with Marianne was a real pleasure. She's a great brainstormer and quickly comes up with elaborated ideas. Her mindset is focused on societal impact, which I admire most. Next, we have from Shay, anyone would be lucky to work with such a compassionate, dynamic professional and all-round good person like Marianne. Her hunger for knowledge and perspective are an asset that creates magic. And then lastly, we have from Christine, Marianne is one of those rare and beautiful souls who show up from a place of open-hearted generosity every single time. She is committed to learning, application, truth. Her capacity to balance, to create beautiful, thoughtful frameworks, to consider options, externalities, and consequences is a skill that most enterprises would benefit from. She is a welcome addition to any team or project I might convene, as I trust her ability to collaborate and partner with others as a first-order principle of her character. So those are just some words from the community, and we're going to welcome up Marianne now. Welcome. How are you doing? I guess it's morning for you.
Yes, it is. I'm doing great. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for having me. It's quite a pleasure. And thank you for all those amazing comments. I'm kind of blown away. Thank you.
Perfect.
Everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, we always try and make sure that that our community gets to share what amazing people are in the community and what you're doing. And so we always ask at the beginning of these OpenExO Lives for the person that we speak to just give a bit of background about yourself. So tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you into the OpenExO community.
Sure. So I spent most of the last 25 years in corporate Canada, corporate America, a little bit of corporate Denmark. And in South Korea, but not so much corporate. But anyways, I early last year, 2020, I really needed a change, a major change, something radically different, a new way of working. I've always wanted challenges, but I really needed a big challenge. And I was desperate to be able to find a purpose in my work, like real purpose, solving real problems for people and communities. So I had been part of Abundance D360 for the prior 4 years. In March of 2020, they invited us into the EXO World event that was in mid-April. And I was super impressed by those 3 days and the quality of that event. So I started researching the certifications, and I took the EXO consultant certification course. I also took the EXO coach certification, became an ambassador. And that fall, I took Christine McDougall's Centropic World Masterclass and really loved that. And that all the stuff I'd done that summer and fall really was what I had been looking for. It was like I don't know how I found it all, but it was what I needed. And I was super excited. I was super stoked, and was wondering what's going to be next, because how can I apply all this, right? So I kind of started my own company. And then in that masterclass with Christine McDougall, I met Forrest Lüdehauser and ended up accepting a position as COO for planetary care. So that's how I ended up in this community.
Wow, it's always amazing to see when, you know, when a community can bring people together and really start to shape amazing things. And we're going to be speaking, of course, about planetary care throughout the call today, because, you know, what you're doing there is pretty amazing, and how you're implementing EXO. But before we get there, I would like to just know, do you as Marianne have a personal MTP?
Yes. It is to create new enterprise models where all humans love to work. It's really important to me. Yes. I've seen a lot of travesty in the corporate world, and there's a better way of doing this. I know it. And Christine really has shown me the way, and there's a path. So I really appreciate everything she's doing and everything she's creating, and that, you know, as part of a community, I'm very honored to be there, and it gives me so much hope and optimism.
Yeah, that's really amazing, because, you know, I truly believe that, you know, that as we're moving into the 21st century and beyond, right, that, I mean, we've mapped exponential organizations, and that's one angle. But then there's the, you know, the actual, you know, that allows you to, you know, to really drive and grow, but ensuring that the organizational level, that people are matching with the purpose, I think is a vital element. And I know, you know, from a Centropic enterprise point of view, like there's a lot of that, and I know from speaking to you and also from reading up a bit about you, like you really looking at quite a lot of different models around business, right? Because it does need to change with the world we live in now, which is not the same as it was, I guess, in 1940 or whatever, when today's corporation was first birthed.
Absolutely, very different.
So could you share a little bit about planetary care? What is it? What do you what does it do? And then what do you do there?
Sure. So planetary care was founded by Forrest Lüdehauser, and the MTP is really quite audacious. It is to build planetary resilience through regeneration, and our focus is agriculture. So basically what we're doing is we're stewarding a transformation towards global agricultural regeneration that's really grounded in soil health. So I'm not going to go too much into that, but soil health is a huge problem globally. We need soil health to increase biodiversity, increase in water retention and quality, because that gives the farmers resilience against drought and floods. Carbon sequestration, the way we've been farming the last many hundreds of years, even to some degree thousands of years, has released a lot of carbon. We need to sequester that back in the ground. The nutrient density of our food has become really poor, because when you keep throwing chemicals on the ground, you kill everything there, and there's very little nutrients left in our food. So we need to get healthy soil back. There are so many benefits to this. Another one is revitalizing farm and rural communities. So there are so many benefits, and overall it really manifests a thriving planet for all its creatures. So this is what I love about what I do every single day. It's so satisfying. It's so amazing. Our passion is really to provide supports to farmers to successfully convert back to regenerative agriculture, but we really are a B2B. So our goal is to make all the enterprises that support the farmers. We want to make all those enterprises successful. So we're talking about suppliers to the farmers, buyers to the farmers, investors, innovators, advocates, researchers. So we really are what we call a backbone organization. So we are building a global collaborative commons that is a backbone organization. So it's organized as a member-owned and governed multi-stakeholder enterprise. So we're bringing together collaborative innovation. We're bringing together marketplaces, and it's all based on an exponential learning platform. John Hagel has a great talk from Singularity University that talks about this exponential learning platform that we are creating. It doesn't exist yet, but the problems we're trying to solve are really quite wicked. There's a lot of barriers, and we need to break them down. And there are maybe tens of thousands of organizations out there who are working in the regen ag space, but they don't know each other exist. There's a lot of siloing, fragmentation. So a lot of people working on the same stuff, a lot of overlap, and there's huge gaps when nobody's working. So what we need to do with this platform is to bring everybody on the platform and identify what are everybody good at working towards, and what are the barriers, and then really coordinate the solution and solving and breaking down those barriers. So that is, from a big picture, what we are really trying to do. Within there's a whole bunch of other things that we as a backbone organization will be doing. So that's really an overview of what we're trying to do.
Wow. Yeah, it really is amazing. I know you said, you spoke a little bit, the whole point about regenerative agriculture has a lot to do with soil health. And I saw a documentary called Kiss the Ground, which really is so eye-opening, really amazing to get that understanding of just the micro ecosystem that lives within soil that actually is producing many of the vitamins, etc., that we need in our food, and how just with a single cropping over and over and over, the soil becomes a bit like sawdust, right? It's just
the problem
dry.
is also the tilling. The tilling is actually a huge problem too, because that root system, that elaborate root system in the ground is super important, and the fungi and bacteria that live there are the ones that sequester the carbon. And there are so many ecosystem services that are created when it's a healthy soil, healthy, biodiversity, all that stuff. So it goes on and on. But it's actually, ancient wisdom, what we're going back to. We're using nature. We're going back, by mimicry of nature. We're learning, relearning how to do this. So
no, absolutely. I mean, nature's been doing it for billions of years, and so I'm pretty interested in this and watch quite a lot around food forests and all this stuff, which is really amazing. And people often say, but commercial farming, like you can't do it if you don't have it done the way we do it now. But I don't know if that's true. And obviously part of what you're doing is actually trying to move us towards that more regenerative agriculture. So what you just spoke about, though, being a backbone company, some people might be like, okay, well, what does that actually mean? And like, how are you, you also said it's like cooperative and it's co-owned. It sounds extremely EXO, but can you explain a little bit about how you actually implementing the EXO model within planetary care?
Sure. So when I took the 2 certifications, we learned about how important it is to have a massive transformative purpose, right? So we have an audacious MTP. And I have experienced the last 6-7 months I've been here, how much that is drawing people in. We are leveraging staff on demand and community and crowd like I can't even explain how exciting that is. We put out a post for someone to help us with our volunteer management, and the HR director for the director of HR and strategy for Nike shows up and wants to help. We put out a posting for someone to help us set up a YouTube channel, and an Emmy Award winner MTV producer shows up. I mean, this is what I'm seeing all the time. Incredible professional skills are showing up because of our MTP.
Yeah.
So it's so exciting and it's amazing. So we are absolutely leveraging staff on demand and community and crowd. And I'll get into that a little bit more, but we are also an autonomous organization. So we are self-organized and we have self-directed teams. Our whole constitution is grounded in sociocracy. Okay. So John Buck is one of the leaders in the world, and he wrote our constitution. So we're very different that way. Sometimes, most people stuff it into their operating agreement or something, but we actually grounded in that. So
yeah,
as we build this to scale, being autonomous will help us really do that. So those are the attributes that we are already doing and pretty good at. So in the future, though, what are the other ones? So there is left. So we've got algorithms or leverage assets. So we're just starting to tap into leverage assets. I'll explain that a bit. Engagement, we'll also really focus on interfaces, dashboards, experimentation, and social technology we're already doing. So we're doing about half of them already, and we will be doing the other half over the next year. We're really going to start doing that. So so the MTP, I'm not sure how much detail you want me to go into, because I can, go into a lot of detail.
No, I mean the MTP and this is where many existing organizations struggle, right? Is they say it's so hard to develop a real MTP that you're living up to, and say, well, do we really need it? But what you've just explained is why an MTP, and a good one, and one that you're living up to and you're driving towards, is so important, right? Mm-hmm. Because it draws, it's such a good tool to draw the right people, to to allow for that autonomy, right? Because yes, you also need that good constitution. Like, don't get me wrong, you need those good operating rules for autonomy. But you all know exactly where you're trying to go. And so in terms of developing that MTP, I mean obviously it's like, could you share a little bit about coming up with it in the form it is in, and how you actually how you share that with the world when you are asking for looking for staff on demand or growing your community?
So for the last year, Forrest has been using a company called Taproot Plus. So Taproot really is it's very much a project-oriented pro bono professionals / volunteers. They show up there, look for different, typically nonprofits, different jobs, and they apply. So in our postings there, we really emphasize our MTP and our, this is our purpose. This is what we're working towards. And then we describe the project that we'd like them to apply for. And that is how we've built everything this far. So I would say 75% have come through Taproot. The rest have been word of mouth. So that is really, really quite incredible. And now we're going to be expanding into LinkedIn and corporate pro bono programs. That is something the guy from HR has been really telling us. So many corporations have pro bono programs for their professionals to go out and do work.
Yes.
For example, with planetary care, and sometimes they even have money attached to that. So we are going to be doubling or tripling the amount of professionals working for us the next 6 months, because we are going to get ready to scale. We're doing a soft launch of our platform in the fall, and over the winter we'll be working out all the bugs of that. And then next spring, we're going to do a hard launch, getting everybody onto this platform and getting everybody organized. So yes, it has been amazing. But also, because we are such an edge organization, people who are drawn in, like these incredible professionals from Boeing and all these places, they do their project and then they want to stay. And they basically tell us, you guys are teaching me as a leader that how we can operate teams better, how I can be a better leader. So they stay. So it's quite amazing to actually to watch this happening. But it's so fun, right? Like every time I put up a new posting, I'm like, okay, who's going to show up next? And
absolutely, it sounds great, and it sounds like a great program at sharing EXO and future organizations, right? And I do see on LinkedIn, Amar has said there, tell me how I can work with you from India. Shared his details there. So Marianne, maybe if you check that out after the call.
Yes,
and so, I mean, we obviously, I mean, as a world, need to focus on our planet, on listening, learning from biomimicry, and but also allowing for that the fact that farming that way can actually like sequester carbon and provide food, and like it's like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 4-for-1 often. And so really excited to see how this pushes forward, because like you've said, there's many people wanting to do things, but doing them all completely separately and in silos, versus saying, how do we collaborate? And that's really the way we need to move forward,
yes,
right?
That's the only way. And there's something called collective impact that's been studied heavily by Stanford, that one nonprofit can do a lot of good work, but when you coordinate a whole bunch of them and have the same goal, same metrics, it's incredible the difference, the impact you can have. And that's basically what we're doing. So we are a member-owned cooperative, and we basically have created a barrier to entry that's really based on our values. So you have to sign something called the Trust Manifesto, based on Christine McDougall's Trust Manifesto. And so, you have to play by our rules. And the most important thing about this platform and this cooperative and this community is that we have to create trust. For us to get work done fast, because we don't have much time, we need trust. And we need people to work very collaboratively. And we have to think like 21st century leaders. We cannot have people, we have to unlearn so much and relearn to be able to do this. So we cannot talk about 3 or 5 year strategic plans, because that world doesn't exist anymore. We can't predict anything. We have to constantly, make decisions and then be ready to change them tomorrow, because everything else, shows up differently the next day. So we have to really help people operate this new way. So that's a big part of this community we are building. So this is something we can give back to all these pro bono professionals. So, they gave us a lot, and we obviously grow from all the things they contribute, but we also want to give them that back. So there's so many things we're teaching them that they can then take away and use elsewhere. So that's really important for us. So this is very strong culture, very based on universal values. So dignity, equity, and compassion are our universal values that every single human on earth, no matter what their condition or place, all know those. And we base it on that. And there are many things we base our work on, but Monica Sharma, Radical Transformational Leadership, is actually very foundational for us. And she's from the UN and has solved wicked problems in the UN for 25 years and made incredible change. So she's part of our foundation, and we're very excited. We actually get to work with her directly. So another very exciting thing that really excites me.
Absolutely, Marianne. And you know, we've pretty much come to the end of our time. One thing I do want to say before I ask you just to leave some closing comments in you know, and what you'd like to share is, we have been running a series around future of, and perhaps we need to get some folks from Planetary Care and beyond, just around, you know, future of agriculture. And run one of those events in the next couple of weeks and months.
Sure. Yes. I mean, we know all the experts. Forrest, he's an extremely skillful person at building relationships and has incredible social capital, not just in this space, but in many spaces. And that really is our secret sauce.
Absolutely. So Marianne, as we close out today, what would you like just to share with those folks who are watching and watching the recording?
There is so much amazing work to be done, and there are so many possibilities. And you know, leveraging whatever you're doing with the EXO attributes is super important to be able to scale whatever you're doing, but also really have a look at what Google is doing at World. Because we need to create new models to obsolete the old models. And we have to focus on creating something that is good for all sentient beings on this planet. And with that, we can get far, and we have to do it fast. That's my message.
Absolutely. Marianne, it was great chatting to you again. And we'll see you in the community. Yeah, thanks very much for being with us this evening, or this morning for you.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was Marianne Wyne from Canada. Really great chatting to her. And I definitely think we need to have more discussions within the community about food and the future of agriculture and what's going on. Do join us again next week. We'll be excited to see you then. Cheers, everybody.